If you feel pain right underneath your butt, especially when you run, or especially like uphill, sprint, or just sit for too long of a period, it might not be just a pulled hamstring. What you could be dealing with is when your hamstring's tendon itself. So what we're talking about today is a high hamstring tendinopathy. What is high hamstring tendinopathy? Well, your hamstrings are these muscles in the back of the leg that attach to your pelvis through a strong tendon. This tendon's called the proximal hamstring tendon because it starts way up here. Every stride you take places a load through that tendon. And when your tendon can't tolerate the amount of force being applied to it, then it becomes irritated and it becomes very painful. You'll often notice pain during faster running, like sprinting, or when you're working uphills, longer runs, or just sitting in the car for too long or at your desk seat. So why does this happen? What running really is a series of controlled single leg landings. And your hamstrings have two important jobs, helping you propel you forward or slowing your legs down before your foot hits the ground. When training volume increases too quickly, your glutes aren't contributing enough, or your tendon simply hasn't built up enough capacity, then the hamstring tendon itself can start absorbing too much of the force and start deteriorating and being irritated. Over time, all those repeated loads can lead to tendon irritation. So how do we evaluate for it? When a runner comes into our clinic, I want to know why the tendon itself becomes overloaded. My first assessment is often a single leg Romanian deadlift, where we just kind of go back and forth, trying to go down, seeing where things collapse. Is it in their hips? Is it the glutes that aren't stable enough? Is their knees having issues? Or is it the pelvic control, trunk stability, balance, and whether or not the runner can actually control the movement on just that single leg? If someone struggles with this movement, then their hamstring may not be working correctly or working too hard than it should with every single stride. The next assessment we do is often a step down. So when we work from the bench, we want to make sure that our leg has control to lift up the other one and come down in a controlled manner. We want to do this at a normal pace and then also at a very slow pace. We want to make sure that we're not shaking the ground, not hitting the ground too hard, and not having to bounce out of the way. We'll evaluate the hip stability in the pelvis. We want to make sure that there's no dropping with that the knee doesn't collapse forward, or there's no rotation. So all that can tell me that it's compensation that's going on in the hamstring if any of those are often failed. So a lot of times we'll also evaluate the hamstring strength itself, the hip mobility, and sometimes the running mechanics to see where the overload is often coming from. So Dr. Joe, why does this all matter? Well, it matters because the hamstring usually isn't injured because it's weak. It's injured because the demand placed upon it exceeds what it's prepared to handle. Our job is to figure out why. So someone comes in and they ask, like, how do we treat this? Well, a lot of times, if the tendon itself is irritated, our focused shockwave therapy can help stimulate the tendon healing and the remodeling itself. We'll also restore normal movement through the hip, pelvis, while reducing unnecessary stress on the tendon itself. The next key component for repairing from this tendon, we can also go look at the rehab after we go through some proper adjustments. So the research consistently shows that tendons respond best to progressive loading. So our rehab focuses on improving hamstring strength, glute strength, pelvic control, and overall just running mechanics so the tendon becomes stronger and more resilient. The goal isn't just to get you back on the next run. It's so you can continue your runs pain-free and hit your next PR and enjoy your life at its best. Our goal isn't just to get you back on your next run. Our goal is to make sure that this injury doesn't keep interrupting your training. If you've been dealing with pain right underneath your butt that's limiting your running, you're hiking, lifting, or even sitting comfortably, don't just ignore it. Schedule an assessment at Performance and Recovery Clinic, and we'll identify what's really the problem, not just where it hurts. I'm Dr. Joe with Performance and Recovery Clinic, located here in the Roaring Fork Valley. Hope to see you guys soon. Take care.